I want this team to be bigger than me. And that's something that I've been kind of going through in my head. What does that look like down the road? I don't know 100% yet, but I do want it to succeed past, my driving career. And, and that's something that, a high limit provides, me that opportunity to continue on past my driving career, just with, the opportunities that come with the series. And I mean, it's still too early to even think about that, but it's just stuff that's crossed my mind. And yeah, I mean, that's, development team could be a stepping stone into maybe, like, my team. Or, you can even talk about crew members too. There's so many young kids and and even, guys who just always wanted to race but never have the opportunity to go work on a race car. And they could come in and learn there and then move on and go work for other teams. And it's just something that's really lacking in our sport is, opportunities for crew guys. And so that's an avenue too that we can develop crew members. And I think that's a great idea and something we've been talking about doing. And that's not really set in stone yet, but we've been discussing that. And so there's so many different opportunities there, that we could have. But we just need to get it started, start out small, and then just see how it grows, and then kind of determine what the future looks like there. With how we push drivers and crew members through into the sprint car world or past the sprint car world. So yeah, it's just pretty exciting. And we won the national open that year. So um, yeah, it's a cool racetrack. And I do enjoy, getting back to the Grove. So honestly wish we can get some high limit races there. I wish we can get some more high limit races here in Pennsylvania. But I understand why, and it's really difficult. And maybe one day we can. But right now I'm thrilled with the schedule that we have with high limit. I love what they put together. You know, I learned earlier that there's 10 new racetracks that I haven't seen yet that we're gonna hit, new regions. And so that's gonna be really cool. And I'm excited about it. And Pennsylvania tracks will, on a local show, we've had a lot of great racetracks on local shows. Like, you have to admit, like, they've been really good. But then the national series comes in, and it's like they forgot to take the keys away from the water truck guy. Like, why are we doing this so much, so different? So so there's that variable into it too. It's maybe they just get super excited. And I don't know. But I can tell you it's not the series doing it. I've been involved in this long enough that the series don't dictate what happens at a racetrack unless the series is leasing the track. But if the track is paying the series to come in, they really have no say on what happens with the track prep at all.
Matt Bird asked, and he asks pretty much every driver we have on here. Question of the night: tell us the history of your number and how did you pick it?
So when I started racing go karts, my favorite color is orange. So I wanted orange, and I wanted the number 14. But my dad wanted to pick the number, so he picked 19, and that was from Steve Smith Sr. So that was my dad's favorite driver in sprint cars, and so that's where my number came from.
There you go. Does anyone in your crew ever tell you you need to be more aggressive if you want to win this race?
No, no. And I think really nobody ever speaks up because, I'll just be flat out honest. There's no worse critic of me than myself. I'm going to be the hardest on myself than anyone could be. So, I'm going to push myself as hard as I possibly can. And, I know when I screw up, or I know if I didn't give it that 110% like I should have. Like, I know that. So I necessarily don't need anybody telling me that. But it is good to have people in your corner pushing you. You know, there's certain ways to push people. There's the right way, and there could be the wrong way. So, but it's always great to have somebody in your corner pushing you. And you know,
100,000 to win. Every track is racing the same night. Where are you going? Port Royal, Williams Grove, or Eldora?
hmm, that's a hard one. Now, do I answer this based on the track I like the most or my highest chance of winning?
Wouldn't that be the same? No, I don't
No,
know.
no, I wouldn't. No.
I think you can make a case for any of these three to
I
be
could,
the
yeah.
same
I mean,
answer for both.
I've won a
Yeah,
lot
couldn't
of
it?
races at actually all three.
Mhm.
I've won quite a bit of races at Eldora, but I think if you're looking at it percentage wise, if I can of winning that race, I'm gonna go with Williams Grove.
All right. It is Monday, March 23rd, 2026. What's going on? I am Jimmy here with Jay-Z. We are the Turn 2 Terribles. Thanks, everybody, so much for joining us this evening. We got a great show planned for you all today. We got Jude Siegel, who's going to join us here in a second. We're going to talk to him, get to know him a little bit. New to the 410 ranks, but a name that is definitely familiar to the area where we're going to talk to him. And we're also going to go over the first weekend of not only Port Royal and Williams Grove opening up their seasons this weekend, but also the PA Posse 410 series kicked off with those events. We'll talk about those, other racing in the area, like at BAPS, High Limit, World of Outlaws, and we'll take a look at the weekend ahead. So, appreciate everybody in the chat. As always, we see you guys, Marie, Dirt Track Ant, Santos, Mandy, James, Daniel Lee. Valerie Martinez says, I do not say blah, 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 blah. I don't know, but we never said that. So thanks, Valerie, whoever you may be. Shazy, man, how you doing tonight?
I'm already confused, but we're ready to go.
Daniel Lee says, "Happy Monday, T2T Nation." So good to me, like the song from the Mapas and from the Mamas and the Papas. What's going on, man? Yeah. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We're going to jump in here. I don't see Jude in the background, and he was here. Is Jude here?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I just see a black screen. That could just be me. I'm gonna bring him in.
Let's see if he's here.
Let's
I
see
got
if
you.
he's here. Jude Siegel, everybody. Jude, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what's going on with my camera right now.
Okay. I didn't know if it was just because that happened to me before where I couldn't see the camera, but Jay-Z could.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes if you got a phone call while you waited, you may have to. I don't know. You might have to reactivate it, or you may have to leave and come back. But listen, if there's no video, I don't have to have video. We've done that before.
You want me to try to leave and run back real quick?
Yeah. If you leave and
Go
come
ahead.
back in, yeah,
Yeah.
try that.
All right.
It was working pretty good before, so.
Hey, Jimmy, he left now.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks.
He's not there now.
Um,
Jimmy, where were you at this weekend? You were Port Royal?
I was at Port Royal, man. I was. It was nice to be back at the Speed Palace, out and about. I wanted to get to Williams Grove on Sunday, but just didn't really work out. It looked like a beautiful day there Sunday. At Williams
It
Grove.
was great. Yeah,
Um,
beautiful day, and not that Saturday was the worst thing ever. I mean, this weekend before at BAPS was way colder than this past weekend, but you know, good weekend. I mean, we got two races. There was
Yeah.
two days of racing, so can't complain about that in March.
All right, Jude's back. There he is.
Hey, there we
I'm back.
are.
Jude,
All
thank you so
right,
much for
welcome in,
joining us.
man.
Yep. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good,
Good.
good.
Not bad. Got to see some racing this weekend. We're gonna get to your weekend, a pretty short weekend, but let's start where we usually start here. You, I know this answer. You have quite a family background in racing, and if you watch the show at all, this is where I like to start most of the drivers we've had on for the first time. Your background in racing and your families, and it goes back a long way. So, tell us a little bit about your family's involvement in racing, and kind of where your path to getting where you're at today.
So my great grandfather, he started racing out in Texas. He ran some sprint cars, and then my grandpa ran some quarter midget stuff out there, and then came up through the ranks, moved out to PA because that's where the best racing was, and settled here in New Oxford, and then ran out here for a long time. Ran with the Outlaws, All Stars, a lot of the touring series. Um, then my dad started racing like around his like early 20s or so, and then he raced up until right around when I started, and he started to help me out and race, and balancing that got a little difficult. So I raced some quarter midgets, micros, and then he stopped racing a couple years back to help me out with 358s, and then just this year moved up to the 410s.
Um, so I didn't, and this actually I didn't know this part of the story. I had no idea that originally from Texas. So is
I
the
didn't
rest
either.
of your extended family go back those generations all from Texas? Like, do you know that story of how got to Texas or and then did everybody kind of move to PA, or do you still have distant relatives in Texas or somewhere else around the country?
Yeah, I have distant relatives like all of my grandfather's side of and my grandparents' side of the family on my dad's side live out in Texas. Other than my grandpa and grandma, they're the only ones that really moved here. I think my other parts of the family moved up here for a couple years, then moved back. He's from the El Paso area down there, so deep down there. There's not much racing out there.
Not a lot of racing. Yeah, of any sort, just racing from the dust. I guess El Paso. Yeah.
Tornadoes.
Have you visited often? Have you been down there?
No, never been down there. The farthest I've been down south is Tennessee for like a family vacation. That's about it.
Got it. And it's funny, today actually my mom texted me and goes, "Wait, is Jude is his grandfather Steve?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, because when I was a kid, that's who was racing when I was a kid. It was Steve, and then your dad came along, and those early years, Steve Smith and Stevie Smith and Steve Siegel. That was like, and Jim Nace, Dan Dietrich, that era, and your grandfather was pretty good. So, over your years of growing up, did you go back? Have you seen a lot of his races? Are you a historian that way of kind of going back and watching?
No, like every now and then, like my grandpa's a big storyteller. He'll go on if you ask him questions, he'll just go on and tell stories for days and days about going on trips with Steve Kinzer, going racing in Ohio. He'll just go on and rants and about everything that he's raced in his days. But yeah, I haven't watched much races. He'll like send me old clips of him from back in the day driving in the slick right through the middle, bottom, top, and he's like, "This is how you got to run the bottom right here, Jude."
Look, back in my day, but hey, listen, got the job done, all right? That was a different era for sure. And, certainly things have evolved a lot, but, man, soak that in, brother. I'm telling you, you're a young guy, but soak it in. Like, he's seen a lot. I mean, your dad raced a lot too, right? But like, man, it was just different back then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just a different era. So,
Put the number
so
on the door. Sorry.
put the number on the. So your dad, it's a little more recent history. So has he caught that bug of telling you stories yet, or not so much?
Yeah, he'll tell me some good stories and bad stories, but he tends to have a lot of bad stories because he's a little feisty when it comes to racing sometimes. Like he's gotten into fights with Rico, Danny, he's thrown some steering wheels. So those are the stories I enjoy, but also some of his good stories with winning and stuff. But yeah, he always has some good stuff too.
And listen, it might be unfair for me, but I watched your dad race a lot, and he was a hell of a time trialer. I don't know if other people remember it that way, but man, at Lincoln Speedway, when you went to time trial, there was a couple guys you looked out for. It was Brian Lepo and it was Steve and it was Jim Siegel. If they got it right, man, they were time trialing at the front. So, you know, has he helped you? Now you haven't done a lot of time trialing yet, but do you think that's something that he might be able to help you with as you kind of get into this 410 world?
Yeah, he like has some really good like pointers with like he's like really good at keeping his arms locked and straight and just keeping it as straight as he can and like not getting too twitchy, which I've been struggling with clearly. But he's like pretty good at like he can just like stay like wide open and be using the brakes at the same time, which is a tough concept to take control of. But he was he tries to like put that stuff into me and help me understand it. But I don't know. I try to learn as much as I can.
Yeah, and you're going to learn a lot. As people are kind of catching on, they've seen you here. You dabbled in the 410 a little bit last year at the end of the season. kind of got going this year. And I think everybody was kind of on the off season. I had a lot of people ask, like, "Hey, is Jude full time? Is he moving up full time?" And everything I had heard, yes, based on what I kind of knew. Um, but last season, when you kind of transitioned into that 410 a little bit, I thought you looked pretty comfortable some nights, and I felt other nights it was like learning, right? I think it was
Mhm.
a little bit of both, and that I don't see a lot. Sometimes, what I've seen is struggle or just kind of gets it, not like on and off this. So, did you feel some of that? And was that a little bit of like, and I think you're still, based on what you said, you're still feeling some of that. But like, what were your first kind of thoughts when you got into the 410 and kind of living back on that? And is it as crazy as it looks?
Uh, yeah, it's for sure as crazy as it looks. Like sometimes I'll be like, this isn't that bad compared to a 350, and then other times I'm like, whoa, like this is just out of control. It just wants to. It feels like it wants to wreck every lap. So you just got to keep composure. And I don't know. It's just my biggest thing right now is a lot of stuff's happening quick in a short amount of time, and it's trying to get all that and also be competitive at the same time. So some nights I'll feel good and comfortable, and other nights things happen quick, and I just try to do the best I can.
So, and I think, a lot of the younger guys don't typically go back and forth when you jump to the 410, guys are staying, which I think I like that a little bit because I think it would make you better in the 358, but I don't know if it helps you in the 410, right? Because then it just speeds back up again. Because ideally, I think you want this to slow down, right? You want this to slow down kind of like it was in the 358. But I'll ask this, in your time in the 358, because it's not like you had 5 years in it. Did that start to slow down for you? Did you feel that evolution from when you got into that to when you kind of got out of it?
Yeah, for sure. Like just this last year was like my first year. Like I was starting to get comfortable, and like I felt like I was able to compete at a level that I needed to. And then that got to like right around the point when it was time to jump into a 410. So we had to make the change that was best for us. But yeah, like in the beginning of a 358, like I was like, it was really fast and I was uncomfortable a little bit because the first time I ever ran one, I was like 14, I'm pretty sure. So I was trying to just keep control of the thing because I'm skinny as it is and it's a big machine out there. So, but now, as like time went on, it got easier.
So you're saying you're a skinny guy, and I watched you. I've seen you in a football uniform. You're a slender guy. Have you been kind of working out, trying to put on pounds? Like kind of, I know, and listen, I know I would assume you're going to go back and play football again this fall. Your senior season, I believe, right? Is it your senior
Yep.
year? So senior in high school, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know that. Um, is that something you've been kind of working on? Is trying to put on some more pounds, or you're kind of with this, or getting stronger the way you're built now?
Yeah. So me and my dad, my grandpa all have fast metabolism. We're just all of us are pretty smaller build. But lately, I've been trying to get in the gym more for football. Like this past couple weeks, once basketball died down, I've been getting in the gym more consistently, trying to eat better and stuff.
How do you
So yeah,
balance
and
doing the
go ahead.
how do you balance doing all the high school sports and try to get real serious about racing?
Uh, my parents are really flexible with football, basketball, and racing, so they try to let me do my teenage year things right now and have fun as it is, and then also race on the side. So like once right around when it gets to football season is when we start to go to the Grove less because Friday nights are football time. So
Right.
it's just we try to balance it as we can. Like if I have to miss a race because I have something with sports, oh well, like it sucks, but that's how it is sometimes.
Right.
And I think if this is something you want to do, you got a lot of years ahead of you. You
Yeah.
don't have to, you're not chasing points yet. You're kind of going and man, yeah, be a kid and experience these. You only get one senior, year essentially. Um, the other thing I talked a lot about the kids on here though, how are those grades?
Uh, my grades are really good right now. I'm kind of struggling with some pre-calc right now. It's just hard to keep them test grades good, but everywhere other than that, I'm pretty good.
Man, I subtract I addition subtraction I struggle with, and I'm way older, so I can't imagine.
We struggle with pre-addition, so the fact that you're struggling with pre-calc is okay. But let me ask you this, and let's transition into this a little bit. Does it make it a little bit harder when you wreck your equipment on a weekend? Does it make it harder to get the homework done during the week? Um, talk about Williams Grove Sunday.
Um, yeah, fast night, but to say the least, it was a pretty bad weekend this weekend. So actually, Friday after school, I was hanging with some buddies, and we were going to get some food after a lacrosse game, and I got into a little accident with my real truck. So, but nothing too big, and then go over Sunday, race at the Grove, and first or second lap in hot laps, just going to turn 3 a little bit too hard, a little bit too high, and dropped the elbow, and it just got out from underneath me and sent it right into the fence. So that was a quick night. It was definitely not. I didn't know what to think. I was just like, is this gonna end? Like, it was just not a fun weekend for me.
One of those sitting there after it happens, like, did this actually just happen? Is
Yeah,
this real life
that's
right now?
exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Like, come on.
Yeah. Car's okay, not okay, but fixable. You'll be back out soon.
Yeah, she'll be back. The quickest we could be back is maybe Baps this Sunday, but I don't know. I feel like we're leaning towards the next Lincoln race more.
Thanks, Lincoln. I talked to Aiden Hare and their deal. They got tore up at Baps, and they're kind of the same. Their shocks are out. They don't have things back in time. They would like to run Baps Sunday, but same thing. They're just going to probably wait till the next Lincoln race. So shitty for sure, but a little bit of a break. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do with a couple week break, man? Do you go to the races when you're not racing, or do you just spend your weekend with your buddies wrecking your own truck?
Uh, I go to pretty much every race. There's always something to do. And just I don't know. I've always went to the races since I was young. It's just I don't care if I'm racing or not. But I'll probably be at the races. Football workouts during the week after school and stuff, and yeah, probably just chill out for a couple weeks.
So were you up at Port Royal?
Nah, it's too much of a hike for me. I've been up there, I think once or twice, but no.
Okay. Did you get to watch it?
Yeah.
All right. So what did you think of that race? That race, it looked like it was a little bit racy. I think in one end of the race, I don't know. To me, it looked like a pretty decent version of Port Royal. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, you've seen races from up there.
Um, I liked the racetrack because, like, I don't know, like, it's nice to see some racetracks that you usually don't see it. Like, Port was a little bit different than typical Port Royal, and I feel like the racing still wasn't horrible. Like, fans might want to see like more like sliders and stuff like that, but like, I don't know. I feel like some tracks like that have some different styles to it is more fun to watch than just the same old track every week.
Yeah, I
I
I
agree.
don't think it was like totally up on the wall, but it looked like there was some finesse. You had to get through the bumps, a little bit of everything. It looked like it was thrown at him. I was at Baps doing my thing, and I was watching it. It looked tricky. It looked slick. It looked like you had to have some discipline yet be aggressive. A little bit of everything. So um, now Williams Grove Sunday again. You got to play spectator after that first lap or two, but um, I don't think it's the best version of Williams Grove, and usually that show isn't the best version of Williams Grove. But you have some laps around there in the 358, and last year, did you get any 410 laps at the Grove?
No.
That was the first ones. What do you think about Williams Grove, and do you think it'll fit your kind of style?
Yeah, Williams Grove is actually like out of all the tracks I've raced at, that's probably my favorite track, honestly. So I don't know. It was just 358s. I was pretty comfortable there right off the bat and had some speed there sometimes. Like I had two chances to win some races there, but first laps on a 410's a whole different animal. Track's slicker than I thought, clearly. But it was like way faster down the straightaways. I was like, this is awesome. I'm going so fast. And then I get in the corner and I'm like, there it is.
Yep, there it goes. That didn't work like I thought it would.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what fan questions you got?
Uh, yeah, to a couple here. First, Cody Hartlub says big fan. So you got a big fan of Cody Hartlub. We're a big fan of Cody Hartlub. What's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. Liam Hare asks, which was better, running a 358 or a 410?
410. It's just, it's the dream. That's what I've wanted to race my whole life.
Matt Bird, and also I got our buddy Dave Scott Smeltzer. Also, he messaged me earlier with the same question. Question that they ask every driver. How did you pick your number? Give us the background on your number.
My grandpa ran the number 2, the Bush number 2, and I don't know. To be honest, that is obviously a big reason, but the number 2 is just always like caught my eye. That's been my favorite number since I was. I don't even know if I really have a reason, but like for every sport, that's the number I want to pick and racing.
We like the number
And
2
by the way,
too.
your grandpa's Bush number 2, one of the best looking cars that'll be burned in my brain forever. So
Yeah.
badass looking race car. And speaking of Cody Hartlaub, you guys have a connection with Cody a little bit, or Cody with you guys. So we've had Cody on the show a couple times, and he ran. If we go back in the record books, Cody ran the number 2 when he was in 358s, and that was. Can you tell us that story a little bit?
So he helped out my dad and my grandpa for a couple of years to like get like a good idea of how the cars worked, I'm pretty sure. And he like helped them out for a couple of years, and then my once he got started back up, because he raced before he helped my dad out. So he got back started up, and my dad and grandpa, I think, gave him a car. I'm not sure, but like they helped him get started up, gave him setup advice, and I think that we were just like a pretty good help for Cody. And Cody's gave me some advice sometimes when I needed it to calm myself down, because sometimes I have trouble talking with my dad after I do something dumb. So he can calm me down and help me out.
I remember Cody saying he kind of ran the number 2 and sort of like a thank you and a tribute sort of to the family and what you did. And he said, as soon as you got going, okay, it's yours. You can have
Yeah.
it. So I believe that's how the timeline went. And he went, he's doing his 95 thing. So, Talon Haas just asked, who's the best track prep guy you know? What's up with that?
He's giving a reference here to Brandon Sanders. He helps out at Port Royal. We're pretty good buddies with Brandon Sanders. So that's what he's trying to get at here.
Got it. We've seen Brandon in our chat, I believe.
Yeah.
Over time. So for sure. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Santos asks, what are your plans post high school racing wise? I'm going to follow that up with just what are your plans post high school? You know, what do you want to do for a living and after high school?
So probably gonna plan on going to college for 4-year degree or whatever and get some more knowledge. I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet though, but that's the plan, to go to college. But obviously, like I want to keep racing and stuff. And if the dream's obviously to go race on a series and around the world. So if I could get good enough to do that and get more knowledge on racing and get just keep improving every week, that's my main like dream or whatever. But yeah.
A couple comments here. Brent Bohr says, keep learning, get seat time one race at a time and one lap at a time. You will get it and be up front every night, always cheering you on. And then our buddy Brad says, at that age, it was a chocolate milkshake with vanilla ice cream and a banana and a raw egg with chocolate syrup to start the day just for the calories. So there you go. I don't know if that would they make all
I've been
types of
trying to
crazy
eat a
stuff.
lot of protein lately. A lot of
They make
eggs.
all crazy protein stuff now. It's insane.
Mandy had 2 good questions actually.
Yeah. Mandy asked, my question tonight, favorite concession stand food, as we're talking about food, and any racing superstitions that you believe in.
Favorite concession stand food. I don't know if there's that much concession stands, but I'd call it a track food. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Sub Stop in New Oxford. I It's like owned by the Lepos and the Smiths and them. I always get a pizza burger there. That's my go-to
Sounds
option. I love some good pizza burgers. A racing superstition. I always put my right glove on first and then left glove.
Okay. Santos asks, one I always like to ask is any plans for merch this year?
So we have shirts last year, and I don't think our car didn't change that much, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna try to get some new shirts with the new Remurfing logo on the side of our car. I think that's our plan.
Cool.
So, by the way, my question is this on that car, because it's a good looking car, that scheme, the white, the blue, and the gold. I'm glad you didn't change it a ton because I don't think you needed to. But who came up with that, and is there any kind of background / history with it?
My first quarter midget looked like exactly like that, and it kind of also resembles my grandpa's Bush scheme car, like the colors kind of. So like I liked that concept because it resembles family history, and I also I really like blue and gold. I'm a big Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan for football, so I don't know. It's just blue and gold. I like those colors.
All right, nobody's perfect. All right, so um, you know,
What?
I mean, listen, I I'm not a okay. You go to New Oxford. I don't love the colors of New Oxford. I like the silver. I don't love the red. And then you come on here and tell me you're a Notre Dame fan, brother. All right,
Who do
so
you
I
like?
got to ask this. Um, I'm a local guy for college football. I'm a Penn State guy.
Oh, come
Um,
on.
for
Come on,
college
man.
football. So
Hey, at least
definitely,
we're in a conference. You know what I mean? Like, let's join a
No,
yeah. I
conference
mean,
no.
already.
there's a commitment there, right? We're
Yeah.
committed to being a part of something. I don't like a lot. I like so it's kind of crazy with my sports likes. I don't stay in that area. Penn State. I'm a Carolina Tar Heels fan. I'm a Titans fan. Like I don't know why, but Penn State's just for college. But oh, we don't talk a lot of other sports in this show. We always kind of make fun of each other when we do. But New Oxford football team had a great season. Yeah. No, Oxford had a great season this past year. You got some guys that are graduating that are some ball players. But what does your senior season look like? Obviously, it's positivity at this point. Everybody's 0-0. It's a long way off, but what are we looking at? Are we going to see Jude on the field more this year?
Yeah, I should be a starter this year at receiver and cornerback, but we lost a ton of starters. We're moving up a division. We'll be playing the Central York, the York High, the Red Line, those good teams. So it's a big step up next year. Losing a lot of players in that, and we're just gonna work as much as we can in the off season and see what we have because we don't really know what we have. I think we're only returning like 3 starters from last year, so it's a big jump.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, not just it's the offensive line. I mean, it's everybody. That
Yeah,
quarterback, your running back, your receivers. And probably good that you got to practice against those guys. You know what it takes. You know what the speed of it and what it's going to be. So I'm super interested. And listen, you can say you're going to play against Redline, but I live in that district, and man, they've been terrible at football the last few years. So I don't know how a school that big can't get people to show up and be good at football. I don't understand it, but either way, there are some really good schools in up in Division One. So, but you guys basically decimated that division. So, if the school size matches up, it probably is where that you should be. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Right.
Um, but yeah, on from that, what made you a
Jason.
Notre Dame fan? Was that
Oh,
a family history thing?
My dad's a big Notre Dame fan, and that kind of just like went on to me. Like that's like I don't really watch much NFL. I just mostly focus on college football. I'm a big college football fan, so my dad liked it, and then I just started watching. I think the first ever game I actually really watched was probably the 2012 national championship when we got smoked by like 30 to Alabama. I think my dad, I was probably like 3 or 4. He put me to bed because it was so bad. He was like, "We're done."
I mean, that's typical with Notre
So,
Dame, to be honest. I mean, I'm just saying.
oh,
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
breeze
At
their way
least they
through the
make it there.
season, get
At least they
smoked by
make it
real
there.
teams.
At
They
least you
make it
make
there.
it there. You know what I mean?
Um, where do you think Jeremiah Love's going to go? What uniform is he going to wear?
I'm hoping someone that doesn't ruin his career because he's got a lot of talent. So I'm kind of hoping he can go. I want him to go in the top 10, obviously, because that's cool. And doesn't happen a lot for running backs, but I'd like to see him on the Giants. I think they got a good coach I forget who they got, but I know they got a good coach. And then maybe your Titans. I'd like to see what he can do down there with Cam Ward.
Yeah.
The media coverage, he won't get the media coverage he should if he's in Tennessee, but we have a history of putting some pretty good running backs out.
Yeah.
So, put on the field. If you go back in time all the way to Earl Campbell and Chris Johnson and Derrick Henry and Eddie George, it's just been that kind of thing. And then, Robert Saleh being there now, I, man, I feel like they're on the right path. But if he goes to New York, it's one of those things where like sort of a thunder and lightning with Scadaboo, right?
Mhm.
And Jackson Dart and him, and I think that could be a good combo for sure.
As
He
an
wouldn't
Eagles
get
fan, I
used
don't want
up,
to see that.
you know. I know, right? Like I don't want him to see him in New York because I think they would ruin him like they did
Yeah.
with Barkley because they're a terrible franchise. But that would be fun to probably watch. Like
Yeah.
it could be fun. So, but anyway, I digress. We'll get back to racing a little bit. So my question: if you watch the show enough, it's time.
How-
You're going to name me two drivers in your racing career. One driver you love racing around. You have a great time. It's fun for whatever reason, and somebody you hate racing around for whatever reason you want it to be.
I'll name some 358 guys because I don't have enough 410 experience yet. So probably fun to race around. I didn't get to race with him a lot, but probably Steve Owens because he helped us out a lot and he always raced me pretty clean and made sure that we didn't make any contact or anything. He was pretty fun to drive around because I've known him for a little bit now, and it just was nice following him around. A driver that I probably didn't like, I'll name two. Uh, Jaden Wolf always gave me some hard racing. He's fun to race with, but I was just like, gosh, like I'll get by him one lap and then he's getting back by me the next. And I'm like, dude, just leave me alone. And then another driver, this is an old one, Frankie Herr. Like when you're behind him, he's been racing for so long, it's like he has eyes in the back of his head. Like he knows exactly where I'm going. I'm like, dude, how like I remember running the top at the Grove, like I think it was the last race I ran there in a 358, and I'm trying to get around him for about 10 laps. I'm like, dude, I'm right here. I'd get to his back bumper off the corner, and then he'd come out right in front of me. I'm like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna get by him?
That is a veteran, absolute
Yeah.
veteran type stuff right there. Protect your spot. Hope the car comes to you. Play defense until it's time to play offense. I mean, yeah, like you're right. Eyes in the back of his head. That's just thousands and thousands of laps, I guess. Jimmy, what do you got?
Matt Miller said, I love seeing Jim come to Bear Hill when you're racing at the Grove. When you were in the 358, it was intense.
I bet.
Just wanted to point that out because a lot of people were
Well, actually, I
commenting
don't know
that.
if you guys know this, but at Lincoln in turn 3, they had to draw a line up like right on the entrance because he would go too far out. He would be on the track basically during yellows, giving me signals and telling me what to do. So they had to draw a line there because they thought it was getting too intense, probably.
That's
So
awesome.
let me ask you this: Have you have had? I don't know if the conversation has come up, but does Dad miss racing?
Yeah, he definitely misses it. Like I feel like it doesn't go away for anyone really. Like I feel like if he definitely got back in the car, it'd make him want to do it again. But he definitely has talked about it before and definitely misses taking some laps. I think it would be nice to race with him because he got to race with my grandpa. So I would
Cool.
enjoy
Yeah.
racing with him.
Hey, listen, take it to Baps one night. Put it. Hey, Dad, take a few laps. Maybe
Yeah,
it'll get the itch and build a second car. You can have one night, go out there and race together one night at Lincoln or something.
That'd
That
be
would
cool.
be. I think that would be a treat for me, right? I think watching your grandpa do it, watching your dad, now watching you, and then like you said, that combo on the track together. I think fans would love that. So if Dad's watching, we're rooting for you to be back in
Yeah.
the car.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a 59. It has to be, right?
yeah, 59.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Jimmy, go ahead and get him out of here. I think we're good.
Yeah. One more question for you. And this is, like I said, I stole this one from Chris. If there's one race that you could win, pick one in your entire career that you could win, what would it be?
Probably the Knoxville Nationals. It's the biggest race of the year. I feel like that's probably the most answered one, but I mean,
You'd
No,
be
actually,
surprised.
yeah.
You'd be surprised. It's bad.
It's about
Guys,
between
we've gotten everything. It's the Kings Royal. It's the
Husky,
Knoxville
Weichert,
Nationals.
and
Husky,
Natty
Weichert,
is
and
probably just
Natty.
as much. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
Knoxville would be the one. No, I mean that's the one. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
the Daytona 500 of sprint car racing, the Super Bowl of sprint car racing. So yeah, it's a good one to pick. You can't go wrong there. All right.
Yep.
Thanks again so much for joining us tonight. Before we let you go, gotta shout out your sponsors, everybody that helps you get to the track week in, week out. Let them know who they are. Give a shout out. Let us know who they are.
So I'd like to thank Marine Roofing. They're on the side wing panel. Smith Titanium with my aunt and uncle Stevie out in Oklahoma. BMJ Commercial and Residential Property Maintenance. Brad Jumper, he does a lot. He got us a motor that's helped us out a lot this year to be able to race as much as we want to. Mason Dixon Vault Company, they help us out. M&T Lawn Care, that's a new sponsor this year. And then lastly, Trern Outdoor. John Trern gave us a motor to run last year, and he's been good to our family. I'd also like to thank my grandparents and my dad and my mom, because this wouldn't be possible without them.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. Thanks to everybody that helps you get to the track. We look forward to seeing you. Good luck here in the future. You got a lot going on, man. I'm tired just thinking about what you have to do on a daily basis. You know what I mean? You got a lot going on. Future's bright for you. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck in the future here.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jude. Take it easy, buddy.
Jude Siegel, everybody. Good kid.
Yep.
Brad Faria asked us if you guys, Jay-Z and Jimmy, got to make a sprint car debut at any track, what would it be? I don't know. Nobody ever wants to put me in a car. I don't
Oh,
think
they
I ever.
don't. But I'd answer this. It would be Lincoln for me.
Mine would be
I
Ford.
love the character. I love the short trackedness of it. It would be Lincoln for me, and that's only simply because there's a lot of illogical because it's not going to happen. But I've seen it so many laps. Feel like I wouldn't be. I feel like I would know my surroundings. Like I wouldn't be good at it, but it would be versus like going to some other place I've never seen in my life.
True. Yeah.
With no experience. I think it would be Lincoln for me.
If I was like, yeah, it would probably be Port Royal. But if I got to just turn one lap at if I could just have magic powers that I could run full bore one lap, it would be at Sealands Grove, just to get that speed. That's if I had talent or something and knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? If I just could do it for one lap, it would be that. But otherwise,
You know what mine would be, and it wouldn't even be at speed. It would be doing the 4 wide at the National Open.
That would be sick.
Just
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just being a part of it. Just riding around in a race car at the 4 wide at the National Open with the bridge, the crowd, the lights, the everything. Man, that would be so cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Think about
Yeah,
that.
that
Like
would be
put yourself
awesome.
in the middle of the pack,
Mm.
middle of the 4 wide,
Yeah.
and you're going under the bridge for the
Didn't our buddy Jack last year for winning he got to be in the pace truck for the 4 wide. That was pretty cool. EJ Shoemaker just did my second podcast. Let's go. Saw that, EJ. Good job, man. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, dude. Trevor,
Be sick,
listen, brother.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes,
Trevor,
we
we
know.
know. We don't have that. But they asked the question. We just said where we would, we just answered the question, brother. We don't have that. We don't have that.
You were corrected that
I
he said
talent, but it's
it
not racing.
isn't a requirement to get behind
it
the wheel.
isn't. Wait, isn't. Okay, got it. I was like, I know, dude. That's why I don't drive a race car.
All right. Let's take a look at this past weekend's racing. We're going to start PA Posse series started off this past weekend. We had racing Saturday at Port Royal. 38 cars showed up. Pretty good car count. I think this is kind of what they, Port Royal gets a good car count regardless, but I think this is kind of what they envisioned with this series is, kind of consolidate the fans and the cars to one place for more races. and it didn't disappoint. It rained a lot the night before. We're talking a little bit with Jude about the track. It rained a lot the night before. It poured, and even on my way there in the morning, it was, like, cloudy, chilly. It wasn't until maybe an hour or so, maybe as pit gates were open, that the sun was actually starting to come out and get a little bit warmer. Ended up being a beautiful day, but in the morning, man, it was still cold, damp, chilly. Um, so it made for a track with some character, that's for sure. Danny Dietrich grabs the win here in the inaugural PA Posse Series race. Opens up the season here at Port Royal over Chase Dietz, Matt Campbell on the podium, Lance DeWeese, TJ Stutz, Aaron Bollinger, Cody Hartlob, Buddy Schweibens, Brock Zierfoss, and Freddie Raymer, your top 10 heat race winners. Dietz, DeWeese, Schweibens, and Raymer, and your hard charger was Justin Whittle, plus 10 from 22nd to 12th. A couple big wrecks in this one. Like I said, track had some character, especially into turn one. The calamity was right in front of us in turn two. First in the heat race, JT Ferry put a big hole in the lap one, heat one. All the that you could tell they just painted all the guardrails and everything. Everything's painted nice, ready to go for the season. Punches a big hole through a billboard. Luckily, he was okay. It was a scary, scary wreck. I say that jokingly, but I'm serious. I'm glad that he was okay. That was a scary wreck, but it was lap one, heat one. It looked like Chase Dietz bobbled a little bit. From watching the replay, it looked like he bobbled a little bit, and JT was up above him. There's a lot of bumps going into turn one. It was, like I said, they got a lot of rain. It was pretty soft. And what it looked like, I couldn't really tell what from 3 and 4. I have to go back and maybe watch a little bit more of the replay and look at it. But I know in turns 1 and 2, and our buddy Ryan Smith actually pointed it out during the race, was kind of like, it's like hammered down in the one, it gets choppy, and then it's like dead slick in turn 2. It was very strange. Like, you had a lot of grip in turn 1 as long as you could miss the bumps that were forming. And then it was this like normal slick to the wall Port Royal in turn 2, like just a complete change just in the same corner. It was pretty wild, and it made for an interesting track. But Danny here gets it done from the pole. Chase Dietz did try to chase him down. Matt Campbell was fast, but the Danny gets done here.
So there was a lot of things here, and the one thing that I don't understand is this hole in turn one. Is that early season thing? Is it water? Is it because of the
I think water.
tunnel? Is
I think
like
water. It was
like
there's
we've
water
seen
in
this
it.
before, and
Yeah,
then we
that's
don't,
true.
and then we
Yeah.
do. So like it sucks where it's at because it's fast, and if there's
Mhm.
grip around it, these guys got to drive hard, right? So it's not like you can just go easier because you don't want to hit the bump wrong, and then you're going to get passed. So not enviable with a bump like that. Now, I don't think guys are upset about rough tracks, but when you have a bump like that isn't there from any natural cause of a sprint car, it's just not ideal. But yeah, it was really interesting how hard they run into one and then just absolutely bone slick off of two.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, it was
how do
nuts.
you set up a car to make it go? Like the challenge for the crew chiefs and the setups and the people doing, man, like shout out, kudos to those folks because I would not want that position. And these drivers, they had to be fighting something they didn't like all night or in that feature, right? No matter what situation, they were fighting things that they weren't happy with. And it seemed like a very Danny racetrack, right? It just seemed like when it's not perfect, that's when he seems to excel and make it and figure it out. And, that combo they have. And, self-admittedly, they said they've been struggling and listened to an interview after and said they kind of reversed on some things and went back to, got back to basics in a sense for them. And it really kind of came to life. So good deal there. Matt Campbell, super impressive.
Yes.
He, last year at the end of the season, they went up for the Tusky all 3 nights and he qualified great. He passed a lot of race cars. I think made the feature 2 of the 3 nights, I want to say, or something, for a guy who hasn't run up there very often.
Mhm.
Very good for them. Lance doing Lance stuff, right? I think was great. Good run for Aaron Bollinger in the
Mhm.
X. That's a top 10 run for them. Buddy Schweiben's impressive
Yeah.
to get that start right. Go out and win a heat, redraw, and not fall off the planet. Did a
Yeah.
great job.
Instead, keep it top
Um,
10.
yeah, really nice job. And and
Look,
listen,
look,
this
look at
is
the
week
look at the
one.
names behind them. By the way, Brock Searfoss,
Oh,
Freddie
I
Raymer,
know.
Anthony Macri, Justin Whittle, Troy Wagaman, right behind them. Yeah.
And this is kind of, I don't listen, week one isn't going to tell us what the whole season is going to look like, but this is what I talked about on this show multiple times now, that Port Royal to me is a wild card this year. I don't it's wide open, I feel like, and I don't love that for the Port regulars, quote unquote, but are there really Port regulars anymore the way this is going to go with the Posse series? Because you're going to have the Dietrichs and the Campbells and the Bollingers and the Hartlobs and Freddie, and you're going to have them more often than you're not,
Hmm.
because with the Posse series deal, right? So, man, Port Royal just seems like a wide open this year, and somebody take the reins of it. And if Danny gets back to what he was doing a couple years ago, when he won the Weichert and did
Yeah.
some other things, like it could be danger for everybody else in the field.
Steph goes to trackhead character. Danny has character. It makes sense. I like that one.
Facts.
Big facts. Chase Dietz was chasing him down a little bit. No pun intended. He looked pretty fast. Just couldn't get there quite enough to get to Danny as they got into some lap traffic and everything. Danny did what he needed to do and did a fantastic job. But Chase did close it up there at the end. He got pretty close. He wasn't. I don't. I'd have to look at the interval, but I don't think it was more than a second at the line. So like he closed it in pretty close at the end. um, Another big wreck in this one. Um, you see them 24th and 23rd, Nash Ely and Dylan Cisney. Dylan Cisney's was scary. I mean, they were both wrecked at the same time. They were both scary, but Dylan Cisney went for a absolute ride. We were all kind of nervous, just like until he got, because it took him a little bit to get out of the car, and rightfully so. I mean, he probably just needed a minute or two. He's probably sore from it. Hopefully, everything's okay there as well. I haven't heard anything since these races. If anybody had like any,
He
substantial
posted
injuries or anything,
just nah, he posted he was
just
okay. Safety stuff did its job.
mm,
Car's obviously junk. They'll rebuild.
yeah,
But seemed to be okay. I haven't seen anything from Nash. I could probably message and make sure he's good. But it was weird on Flow when I didn't get to see. I saw the replay after, and I couldn't see much of Nash in that replay. I don't know how bad it was. I knew it was upside down.
hmm
But it was weird. They were kind of focused up on what the camera
yeah,
caught first, which was Dylan. Which, man, holy crap! Like,
yeah.
real quick, I'm going to go back to JT Ferry. Has anyone ever seen JT Ferry not wreck big time?
It's
This
true. I
guy, I
mean, yeah, he
feel
doesn't
like when
just yeah,
he crashes.
yeah,
And I hate that because he got banged up last year.
yeah,
Thankfully, he's okay. We never want that. But my guy, let's just get a spin out now and then, my dude. Like, good grief, son. This guy wrecked so big. So glad he was okay.
yeah,
Glad Dylan's all right. For a track that was like slow-ish, gosh darn, they were big.
mm, yeah, yeah. I mean, Dylan went way in the air. Both of those wrecks. I'm just glad that Nash. I think he hit the same bump that Dylan did, just 2 cars behind, and rolled over. Not quite as hard. I don't think anything nearly as bad as what Dylan went through or JT. So that's good. Um, hopefully not too much car damage there for those guys. But you hate to see it that early in the season. Not just wrecking, but wrecking that bad. Um, yeah, just scary stuff there. Um, the rest of the race, though, other than that, it was just really, it was just those two. So, I mean, otherwise, it was some decent racing. It wasn't lighting the world on fire, Port Royal type of racing, but it was different. It had character, and just glad to be back. It was one of those things where it's like we're just glad to be back, and solid win for Danny.
No.
um, you also had the super late models there, who they had 18 cars there. Trevor Feathers gets to win. This one was fun. There was the big one. at one point in this in turn 4 where they had about 6 cars piled up blocking the track.
It
They
was
had to put
about
the
it
red
was about
flag up.
12 cars, brother.
Well,
It
they
was
barely
big.
had 12 cars at that point. But Trevor Feathers and Greg Satterley put on a good show here. Satterley started closing in on Feathers, but couldn't get around them. Trevor did what he needed to do, got the win in the super late models in a decent race. Then we go to Sunday, Williams Grove opener, second race of the PA Posse series. Lance DeWeese getting the win over Dylan Norris, Justin Whittle, Danny Dietrich, Cody Hartlob, your top 5, Cam Smith, Brent Shearer, Billy Dietrich, Anthony Macri, and Doug Hammaker, your top 10. Your heat race winners were Lance DeWeese, Justin Whittle, and Cam Smith. And your hard charger, going from 16th to 9th, was Anthony Macri. Lance DeWeese getting the win. Dylan Norris led this one a little bit early. First of all, beautiful day. It for me watching at home, it looked like a pretty good crowd. Just a nice day, but it was the track didn't widen out as much as you would hope, and it kind of just stayed one lane, not one lane, pretty much one lane around the bottom, just kind of not much you can do. And Dylan Norris led this one, and he kind of tried to run the cushion. Oh, you're right. Zerfoss is the hard charger, 24th to 16th. Thanks for correcting me there, Tyler. But Dylan Norris was leading this one, and then washes up. Both Tylers corrected me. Kind of, I don't want to say washed up. He kind of was trying to run a couple lanes up from the bottom, and then I don't think Lance just kind of drove around him on the bottom, and then that was pretty much it. That's all she wrote. And Lance had to hold on to this one because Dylan Whittle was right there, and then even at the end, Danny Dietrich and Cody Hartlob were closing in. Just kind of, they're all like nose to tail the last lap or two, but Lance, doing what he needed to do to get it done to get the win.
So a couple of notes here. First, Dylan blew 3 and 4 there. He was running the top, but he missed it and went in the marbles. It was gone. So
Yeah.
it made it look worse. Well, it was worse because there was just no grip. So Dylan admitted he made a mistake, should have moved down, gave a win away. Now, the end of this thing where everybody was kind of running Lance back down, there was a reason for that. And he kind of talked about it that he probably had another 2/10 in the car, but was taking it easy because he didn't know if he had a tire. They said he felt something weird going on, and he
His
backed up his
shock was
pace.
broke.
The left front shock wasn't attached
Yeah.
to the frame, so he didn't know that at the time. He thought he used up his tire, so he was trying to take it easy, hit his marks, and said that he kind of there was more there he could have done. What I was watching, I'm like, damn, Dylan's running it. Like we all from the outside were looking at it, going, man, they're all just running him right back down. But it sounded like that was. I mean, he doesn't know how close they are, but at the same time, like somebody could have just booted him. Like Dylan had to run down the front stretch at one point and probably could have moved him. Obviously, you don't see that very often around here. That like a blatant, shove him out of the way kind of thing. And man, if Dylan would have been happy to get a win, but he would have been. Imagine those boos if Dylan would have moved Lance out of the way.
Yeah.
With the bumper. Anyway, but yeah, no, listen, it's never a bad day when Lance Deweese wins another race. And we talked about this in our Discord chat today, our Turn 2 Terribles T2T Discord. Just his genuine joy of being in victory lane. It doesn't like the last couple of years when he gets a win, I've never seen him get out of the car and not truly get the feeling that he appreciates that he won that race. Like he's not taking it for granted. He knows he's not getting any younger. Absolutely still knows he has the ability to get it done, knows what he needs in a race car, knows what he wants to feel. And when he gets it and has the right opportunity, he can still get it done. And man, he just looked like just a happy guy in victory lane and thrilled to be there. And, we had a good conversation today back and forth about the interview we had with him last year. That is one we'll remember forever. That he's just a good human.
Genuinely good guy.
Just genuine good guy.
Yeah.
I in my younger years, I've admitted this. I wasn't a fan. I didn't dislike him, but I wasn't like, that's my favorite driver.
Right.
Man, he's near the top of the list. Like this is just, I'm never going to be upset that he won a race against anybody. Just a cool deal all around. everybody's happy to see him win the race too. So that was pretty cool.
Such a class act. First people he thanks when he gets out of the car is Barry Shearer and the Shearer team. You know, knowing how, hey, they gave him a car the past 2 years and they got a couple wins, but
They wanted him back,
and they
right?
wanted him
Everybody
back
came
and
back.
everything, but then he had this opportunity with the 8 and first people he thanks. And I think that just speaks volume to his character and why he's such a popular driver around here. It's just a generally good guy, and it helps when you win. So, but yeah, I thought that was a classy move by him, and just because I think a lot of people's expectations are this, with him in that Eichelberger 8. They're talking about doing a pretty big schedule this year, and more than he was able to do maybe in the 12. Um, and a lot of people are expecting big things from them. So that was awesome. I just thought the whole thing was awesome, and it's hopefully it is a sign of more things to come because it's always a good day when Lance DeWeese wins, I think.
Yeah, Tyler Murray actually just said there, didn't expect to see him go up top and embrace the champagne shower. And he did. He got up
Yeah.
there, looked right down, and was like, "Bring it! Like, come on, let's go!" And that smile was right before the champagne shower or after. I forget when I got that, before or after. Either way, I got some. No, that was after. It was after the champagne shower. But he looked down, and was like, "Let's go! I'm here for it!" Like, just a super cool moment. It just had that weird. I hope it's not the last one. I don't think it's going to be, but it had that weird vibe of like, this was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's opening day. It's a local. No win. There's never going to diminish a sprint car win in PA, a 410 sprint car win. No one ever will.
Mhm.
It just had a cool vibe to it. Another win at Williams Grove, daytime, slow and I don't know. There was just something about the whole thing that just felt right.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
cool.
agree. Speaking of the Shearer card, Brent Shearer, top 10 here. Good day for him, finishing 7th here, and also shout out to our boy Billy Dietrich here, getting a top 10 as well. Ran pretty well, moved up a couple spots, finishes 8th.
Can't complain about that.
No, tough luck for Freddie Raymer. He was the lone caution, if I remember correctly, of this race. Just kind of washed up in turn 1 and got up in the loose stuff and spun out, and then I don't know if something was broke or if it was just because he was already in the back and you're not going to move too much further. Just decided to pull off, but he ends up finishing 24th here on Sunday.
Amen. Good stuff. Good opening day. Track was what I expected, to be honest. It really wasn't.
Yeah,
The bar set low. The bar set low for conditions. Great day to be outside. Great day to watch some sprint cars.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of why I was saying with Dylan Norris before. I'm like, I don't really know why he tried to run up higher. I know he's the leader. He doesn't really know where everybody else is running, but I think everybody kind of knew. You knew probably from the time you put the gas down on the first set of hot laps what the line was going to be, kind of. You know what I mean? But
well, I mean, you look at the beginning of that race, though. He led the beginning of that race, was in front of everybody, running the top of 3 and 4 with
that's
the
true.
top, and
Right.
then just put water down, and he's the leader. You got the most
fair.
downforce you're going to have.
Yeah.
So, like, it was a momentum thing, I think, for him. And he said, I knew I was going to have to move down. I just didn't know when. And he said, and then I made a mistake, moved down, and I've run second. So, like, I think he wasn't wrong because I was in 3 and 4, and he wasn't running horrible speed through there. It was
Right.
free, but like, it wasn't like, oh my God, buddy, you're gonna. But and if he doesn't go blast over the cushion way out around, he might have been able to move down the next corner and survive. We don't know, but I don't blame him for using it at the beginning. And like you said, you don't know what's going on behind you. Those other
Right.
cars behind him could have just as easily been up there too, because it wasn't way up the racetrack.
No,
It was like
wasn't.
halfway.
No, maybe halfway.
Right?
Yeah.
It was still maybe halfway. So it wasn't like it was way out around. But I think for Dylan, and as far as 410s go, learn lessons.
Yeah.
Even though Dylan's been doing it for a minute, still a lesson learned, and he'll do it right the next time.
And he went out to PPMS on Saturday, right? And he got a second. So back to back
Second out there.
second place finishes for the weekend. Not awful, but you kind of wish you were one spot better, at least in one of them. But yeah, solid weekend for Dylan in 2 different cars too. Tyler Murray says, Doug Hammaker first top 10 as a team with JNS. So that's good. Good for that team.
Nice.
Looking at the points standings, I know it's only 2 races, but we have a tie for the lead between Lance and Danny up at the top, and then it's Cody Hartlob in third, then it's Matt Campbell, Justin Whittle, Chase Deep, TJ Stutz, Anthony Macri, Brock Searfoss, and Troy Walkman Jr. your top 10 so far. In that, we'll be monitoring that every week as we move forward. Also, on Saturday over the weekend, real quick, Baps Motor Speedway had a regular show where Scott Dillinger got the Super Sportsman win. Trayton Lee got the limited late model win, and Brian Walls got the Extreme Stocks win. There's a little bit of drama in the Super Sportsman with Kenny Aiken, right? You want to tell us what happened there, what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, it's early in the race. A restart, lap 2. We had almost a rollover on the very first initial start. I think it was the second lap after we went green, and Kenny, Kenny went into the bottom of 1 and 2, and everybody was fighting. There's a lot of fast cars trying to get to the front. Those guys started 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that, and he got into the left rear of Chase Gutshaw, spun Chase. He spun himself. Cars piled in. Blake Brooks ended up on the hook. The names are escaping me, but everybody was able to continue except Blake Brooks, which sucks. That's the last team that we needed to have on a hook.
Mm-hmm.
They're finally, they got their shit together to be out here in March, and they made it 2 laps. But that's what I know I watched with my eyes. The next part that happened, I didn't see all of it, but I can only tell you the result. So apparently at some point they went back under yellow flag conditions, and these cars can start on their own, right? So they're wherever they got going. Kenny Edkin was making contact with Chase Gutshaw in the Hess 88 under yellow 2 times. They black flagged Kenny and said, "You're out of here. Disqualified." I did not see it. I only saw one of them, and it was Kenny just ran square in the back of Chase under yellow, and Chase had to hand out the window, out the cockpit, kind of like, "What's up, my guy? I don't know." To what I saw from where I was standing, Kenny initiated the contact with Chase under green, and now he's running into him under yellow. I don't know if there was some, MFing going on under red flag conditions when everything got quiet and there was no motors running. Maybe there was some jawing back and forth because they were in similar proximity in turn 1 and 2 to each other. I felt like this might have been a Brad Sweet clip that we have on demand of yelling at drivers under red flag. I don't know. So did something happen under red that carried over under yellow? But the end result was the BAPS officials made the call to disqualify Kenny. So as he comes around under yellow, he then stops at the start finish line to have a further discussion with the officials and exits the racetrack. We move on. Scott Dellinger gets the win. That's what I know I saw. Again, what prompted it all? Was there more contact I didn't see? I don't know. BAPS made the call. That's the call. What I learned here from this, and this division's been around a long time. Scott Dellinger's been around a long time. The Edkins been around. They got 4 cars racing on the racetrack now. There was 17 of them, and 4 of them have Edkin on them. So, the Scott and Lori Hess 88's been around a long time, and there's a lot of wins between the Dellingers and the Edkins and the Hess car with multiple drivers. Obviously, Tony, but listen, it's Saturday night racing. There's emotions. It's competition. There's people that invest a lot of time and money into these things. And boy, the crowd was happy to see the 75 DQ'd. I got to tell you, like, I didn't know this. I like both. I've said this on my own page personally. I know both teams. I like both teams. I like both drivers. I'm not taking a side either way, but I didn't realize, because I've been in an Edkin victory lane, and there's been a lot of cheers. I've been in victory lane for the 88H, and there's been a lot of cheers. There was a lot of cheers for the 30. But holy crap, there were a lot of happy people that he was disqualified. So, and that carried into my photos page, right? And people commenting and they're picking their sides of this battle, and I don't have a side. But boy, I didn't realize there was this much hype or emotion and division amongst the fans of these cars. So, hey, you want to see some good, hard wheel to wheel racing? Go to Baps on a
Absolutely.
Saturday night. $15 a ticket. Late model feature was great. Oh, by the way, Trayton Lee, first career late model win. He's a young guy, 16, I
Oh
want to say
wow.
or something.
Wow. Yeah.
Brothers Kyle Lee, by the way, Kyle Lee, the late model driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was in attendance. So this was Trayton's first career late model win.
That's awesome.
I knew the name, but I didn't know that. So thankfully Dave Hare was there to tell us, because I was like, holy shit, it's a first time winner. Very cool. And that feature was crazy. This extreme stock, Brian Walls, man, first time out for the season, didn't test, comes out, survives. There's some big donuts you see on the left side of that thing. That thing was clean and straight when it got there. It was no longer straight. That extreme stock, man, division, I love that division, but it's definitely some full contact racing at times. And I don't think it's like, it's not dirty, right? But it's fenders. They're close.
They got
It's close
fenders. You're gonna use
racing.
them. Yeah.
They use them. So had a good time with it. Like I said, I won't carry on too much about BAPS here, but yeah, that sportsman thing was a little more dramatic than I thought it would be for what it was. So yeah,
Uh,
learned
us
something
dealing
new.
with, we've had a little bit of a connection with the sportsman division. Obviously Chris had the Roland podcast, and we with the Paragos and everything. There's always drama with that division, man. It's fun. It really is, whether it's the wingless or the wing. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a fun division to follow.
No doubt about it.
All right, let's get to high limit. What's going on, Eric? See you in the chat. What's going on, man? Santos says there, regardless of what Ekin does for the division, kudos to BAPS for standing by the rules, regardless of who it is. So, high limit was at Central Arizona Raceway for 3 more races after they raced 3 races at Las Vegas. And before we get through the results, parity is the name of the game here with this series. 6 races, 6 different winners. It's been fun to watch. These were all pretty decent races. The track was pretty fun. Thursday night, Rico Abro gets his first win of the season over Tanner Thorson and Dason Pursley on the podium. Giovanni Scelzi, Joel Myers Jr., Kerry Matson, Tanner Holmes, DJ Neto, Ryan Timms, Tyler Courtney, your top 10, Brad Sweet, James McFadden, and Tanner Thorson won heat races, and DJ Neto went 22nd to 8th, plus 14 positions to earn the Harger on this night. A little bit of a wreck, I think, in this one. Brett Marks kind of, I saw Dirt Trackers kind of say it might have been kind of a victim of the new high limit work area rules. Just didn't really have enough time, when maybe in the past, you might have had enough time to get back out there, but he ends up having a bad night here. Chase McFadden, Brad Sweet get caught up in a deal. They finished 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. But Rico sets quick time, wins the first race here. But Tanner Thorson, man, he's going to be the topic. He was the topic last week, and he's going to be the topic this week as we go through the rest of these results here. But with a second place finish, phenomenal job by Tanner there. But Rico gets the win.
Like you said, parody, but Tanner Thorson's the topic of conversation right now. And we talked not that long ago. Hey, Tanner Thorson's a threat if he can figure out the bigger track stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
This was
see,
that.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
kind of. I mean, this isn't a small
this
track.
wasn't a Path Valley. This wasn't a an elbows up midget track type thing. This is more of what you're going to see throughout the year with high limit, and track wise, more than not, man. I'm here for it. I'm Stevie Smith being involved. I'm a big Stevie Smith fan. The interview when he was at Vegas was awesome, and I think we talked about that. I like Tanner Thorson. I like the program. I like how he's built this deal, and the Rod Gross team, and just the whole thing about it is awesome. It's a great story, and wow, high limit series. Watch out if this keeps up and he's
Yeah.
consistent. Right?
Yeah.
That's just wow.
Then we go to Friday night. Come on, go to Friday night. All right, I'm just gonna go to Friday night, where Tanner Thorson gets the win here over Aaron Reitzel, Rico Abreu, your podium finishers. Tyler Courtney, Brad Sweet, Kerry Madsen, Giovanni Scelzi, Logan Seavey in the new Chad Boat deal with Spire finishes 8th. Justin Peck and DJ Neto finishes rounds out the top 10. Heat race winners were Thorson, Courtney, Scelzi, and Ryan Timms, who finished 11th. Hard charger was Brad Sweet, moving plus 10 positions from 15th to 5th, and your overall quick time was Rico Abreu. Tanner Thorson, though, man, I mean, we just got done talking about him a little bit, and we're going to talk about him a little bit more, but getting the job done here, holding off Aaron Reitzel, getting around Aaron Reitzel, because Reitzel was, he was chopping noses a lot in here. You could tell he was trying to hold on to whatever he had. Also, one person I do want to give notice here to, Decent Pursley there in 24th. Hard wreck into turn 3. First to 2, and both kind of went the same way, but this one was a pretty hard wreck. Good to see him walk away, but that thing was destroyed. Unfortunate deal. Looked like, I think on this one, it looked like he was on the outside of somebody going in the 3, and somebody just kind of, I can't remember who, kind of came up into him, and he went in turn 3. But yeah, but Tanner Thorson, man, what a job, this guy's doing here early season with High Limit.
No doubt.
And then we go to Saturday, where James McFadden gets to win. James McFadden's been fast in that Tarleton 21 car, just, flat tires or something else kind of get in the way of him being able to finally grab a win here with the High Limit Series. I say finally, it's only been a couple of races, but he's been fast. Over Giovanni Scelzi, Brad Sweet with another podium. Cy Lynch finishes 4th. Aaron Reitzel, Tyler Courtney, Logan Seavey, Tanner Thorson, Ryan Timms, and Rico Abreu round out your top 10. Your heat race winners were McFadden, Lynch, Seavey, and Brenham Crouch. Hard charger going from 25th to 15th was Chase Randall. Which I guess, I don't know. I guess that would technically be provisional. So maybe your hard charger would have actually been Brad Sweet, who went 10th to 3rd plus 7. And then your overall quick time was Aaron Reitzel. Again, Decent Pursley with another pretty hard wreck in this one. He kind of just got up in the loose stuff up on top in the turn 3 and went over end. But James McFadden holds him off in a pretty good race here, and grabs the win. Giovanni Scelzi with a solid run. He started on the pole on this one. Logan Seavey was pretty. It was kind of a last minute thing. Just a couple days before he was announced to be in this new Chad boat ride in conjunction with Spire Motorsports. He even has, Freeway Insurance, some of their NASCAR sponsors on the car. Looks a good looking race car. And ends up having a pretty good run here. He was running well at other point. I think on Thursday he was running pretty well too, and got caught up in a deal. But yeah, it was interesting to see him be there, and then run pretty well. He's a guy that if he gets more laps with this deal, he's going to be fun to watch. And then Tanner Thorson, 8th place finish. What a bum. But also good week for him.
Yeah, we'll see if it continues. Another 3 race weekend, or no? They race tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Votto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric Schneck asked, "Will CV win a 410 winged race in 2026?" I don't know.
Is he? How many is he running?
It depends how many he's running, but I mean, if he runs like 40 to 50,
No, he won't. Once USAC gets going, he won't.
yeah. But I
USAC's
mean,
all for like 6 months after they leave Florida. So
it seemed like that deal clicked pretty quick, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won. I'm not going to go out and say he's definitely going to win one, but I would not be surprised if he wins.
no, I wouldn't either. He's an absolute talent.
Yeah.
He
Santos,
will. He's going to someday if he gets more chances, but I don't know if it's this year.
Santos says if Pursley keeps this up, he'll be out of that ride by Kings Royal. I don't know. I think they give him at least a whole season. He had a podium the first night. got junked by somebody else and on the second night, and then the third night was his own deal. So kind of all up and down. Isaac says it's 20 to 25 shows. So does Santos.
So
So it's
okay, so let me
okay.
ask. Yeah,
I don't know if he
that's
gets
a
a win
re.
then.
I don't know. Again, I don't think any of us would be in here going, "Oh my god, I can't believe that happened." But I'm going to say no this year. But let me ask you guys that follow CV and know CV: if he were to win one, look ahead in the schedule where you think he's going to run, because I don't know if you know every racetrack, but what track would he be most likely to win at?
Kokomo. I think when this series goes to Kokomo, he would be.
Is he going to beat? He's going to beat Brady Bacon at Kokomo, or
Why
Tyler
not?
Courtney,
Why
or
not?
Tanner Thorson?
Yeah,
Okay,
he could. He could at a
he
place
could.
like that. Sure. I mean, CV is a guy that I think if he's in a good ride like this, that appears to be, if he can run more of a Brady Bacon-esque type of schedule, he would definitely be a threat to win more often than not. I think maybe a little bit more than Brady Bacon is. You know what I mean? In the wing side, and Brady Bacon's good as I'm not trying to I'm not saying that as like a negative to Brady Bacon. Brady Bacon's a hell of a driver and really good in the wing stuff and is a threat to win. Especially at certain places. But I think CV has that potential to be the same and be another. I mean, you got Thorson and Courtney, two other guys that made that transition from wingless to wing. And personally, another one. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Like we know that Baston, right? He's good at the short tracks, and these California, kids in a way, what they're good at. I feel like CV's good at everything, but I'm curious in a 410 what would be his strong suit if he's going to pick up one of 20 shows. Where would it be? Curious. Yeah.
I didn't say he was better in a wing car. I'm saying he has with that deal that he has with Chad Boat Racing. If he were to be able to run like a 50 race schedule, he could be. You know what I mean? That it's possible. I'm not saying that he is, but there's potential there in the right stuff. And Eric Schneck said, I thought Jimmy said Pocono when he said Kokomo. And now I want to see CV tackle the tricky triangle. That'd be interesting.
Jesus. Let's slow down. Let's just,
um, but yeah, solid week for high limit at Central Arizona Raceway. They've done a lot of really cool upgrades to that facility, and they added an exit to the backstretch. It's the guy who own is it the guy who owns Pella Windows and Doors?
I think so.
Um,
Jerry Petty,
yes, yeah,
isn't
he's
it?
owns that raceway and has been putting a lot of money into it, and it looks awesome every time they go there. And it's giving Arizona, it's giving that area a legit track. Especially, it's nice at this time of the year for high limit to be able to go out there and go hit this track for 3 nights. um, Looking at the points real quick, after 6 races with all disparity, Tanner Thorson holds a 22-point lead over Rico Abreu, Giovanni Selzy, Aaron Reitzel, Tyler Courtney, James McFadden, Kerry Matson, Justin Peck, Ryan Timms, Tanner Holmes, your top 10, which Tanner Holmes has been a pleasant surprise. I think at times he's shown some speed of doing pretty well at some of these tracks here so far, but they've really only gotten to 2 tracks so far. We'll see how it goes here, and we'll talk about their upcoming schedule here in a little bit. Let's go to the World of Outlaws over the weekend. Friday night, the Sooner Stampede at Lawton Speedway. David Gravel gets to win over Scott Boguski. Brady Bacon with a podium and quick time. Sheldon Hodenshield, Chris Wyndham, top 5. Donnie Schatz, Emerson Axum, Sam Haferteep, Cole Macedo, and Blake Hahn, your top 10 heat race winners. Gravel, Hodenshield, Axum, and Scotty Thiel. Hard charger was Buddy Kofoid, who had a rough beginning of the night, going from 21st to 11th. And then your quick time was Brady Bacon. Yeah, David Gravel. Good battle here with Brady Bacon. Brady Bacon was up there to begin, to start this and looked like the guy that was going to be maybe the one to beat. But David Gravel up on the bottom of that track just kind of drove right around him. And that was all she wrote pretty much. And then going to Saturday, Creek County Speedway. David Gravel gets to win again, another weekend sweep. Heat race winner and quick time. Gets to win over Buddy Kofoid. Donnie Schatz with the podium finish. Spencer Baston, Logan Short, top 5. Sam Haferteep, Sheldon Hodenshield, Bill Baylog, Ashton Torgerson, and Carson Macedo, your top 10. Heat race winners were Gravel, Hodenshield, Baylog, and Torgerson. Carson Macedo, 22nd. The 10th was your hard charger. And like I said, David Gravel was your quick time here. This was an interesting track. Got pretty slick. They called it the Creekadega 40. First time there. Looked pretty fun. But Clayton Myers here says Thiel's BS at Creek County was everything wrong with the work area. I did not see what happened there. But that's interesting.
Yeah. We run out of being able to follow these small details. There's too much going on. We're either at the racetrack watching one or the other. It misses a lot of it. You know what I hate the most about this is that stupid name, Creekadega.
I know. When I saw last week when I was putting this together, which I gotta give the Outlaws a shout out. It may be some of it's AI. I don't really care if it is, but they make a logo and give a name to every single race on their schedule. So as I'm putting this together, I have a logo that I can use for every single race. I think that's cool. That makes it feel like a big event. You know what I mean? But when I first saw Creekadega, I'm like, oh, this place got to be huge. It's got to be like a half mile. It's got to be big, and it was tiny as hell. There's nothing.
Hornball ass shit.
Yeah.
Creekadega. But anyway.
EJ Shoemaker says Sheldon pretty consistent in that new ride. Yeah, he's been pretty good so far. Yeah, loving to start the Hodge season. Time trialing good and good consistency with main finishes. That's good. I mean, that's always been his thing, right? Like, he's either winning or he's, winning, or if he's up front, he's wrecking, or he's running like 10th. And, he needs to bump that up a little bit more to be more up towards the top 5 more often and just take the top 5 finishes when he can. Especially he's in the equipment now, it seems part. From what I understand, it's the same stuff that David Gravel's running. You know what I mean? It's all the same, basically a carbon copy. So, he has all the equipment that the best guy in the world is running. So see what he can do. Not saying that it's exactly the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same people working on the car or anything, but, just a pretty good start for Sheldon. Hopefully he can keep that going. I think that's always been his thing, especially mid-season, is he's very hot or cold.
I see iRacing terrorist Landon Crawley there, 16th. I like that. Our buddy Landon Crawley had an adventurous couple weeks with us on iRacing. So shout out, making a feature, running some laps.
Yeah, that was funny. I think, who was it? Was it Strickler?
Strickler.
Yeah.
It was Strickler. there might be a meme out there of yeah, anyway.
Shout out Landon. Santa says kind of same entrance. It sounded like they're running like same everything, the way they made it sound like in an interview earlier this year. But I mean, either way, same engines. I just know that those teams are very close knit, together. So either way, it's a change for Sheldon that I think people have been wanting to see what he can do now. If he was in the, he was already in good equipment, but maybe with a change of scenery and some still pretty good equipment, what he can do here. So proving that he can be pretty good.
Daniel Lee, Creekadega, and Casey J in a sentence. So it's Jedradega?
Jedradega?
Jedradega? I'm gonna that's his new name, Jedradega. I like how people just started calling him Casey J because they don't even try.
Casey
I wouldn't.
Alphabet. Casey Alphabet. I still, because it's basically the entire alphabet. Yeah, Trevor Stover asks, Ampe, who's driving the whip on Sunday? Give T2T the pre-access insider knowledge. I was trying to get this. I saw Ant at on Saturday at Port Royal, and I was trying to get it out of him, and he wouldn't tell me. He's just like, you just gotta wait and see. Just gotta wait and see.
I know.
Oh, you? What do you mean you know?
So you for like 3 weeks.
You tell Jay-Z, you won't tell me? That's why you're Aunt Bay now, not Aunt Bay.
But see, this was in the circle of trust, and he knows that he can trust me now because it's not gotten out. He
That's true.
doesn't,
Yeah, you
nobody
didn't even.
knows. I haven't even told Jimmy, and
Yeah. See that? Look at
I
that.
haven't even told Jimmy, my boy Jimmy. The circle is tight.
Look at
The
that.
the circle is tight.
Look at that. Aunt Bay says, if you want to know, you got to come out Sunday to BAPS. So we're
There
gonna
we
get that.
go. There we go.
We'll get to that here in a second. Quick look at the point standings after a few races with the World
Congrats,
of
Gravel.
Outlaw.
2026 champ.
Gravel.
Congratulations.
I mean, 58-point lead over Carson Macedo, who's been sneakily decent, but 58 points back at Gravel already. Sean Hansfield in third, Donnie Schatz fourth, Logan Schuart, Buddy Kofoid, Garrett Williamson, Chris Wyndham, Spencer Baston, Bill Baylog, your top 10. 58-point lead at this point in the season is already that's a big gap already. It just goes to show how good Gravel's been. Not that it's insurmountable, a couple bad nights, but if we know anything about that 2-car, David Gravel, they don't have bad nights. I mean, a bad night for them is a 9th or 10th place finish. They're not going to have many DNFs. So
Their bad night was the worst night when points didn't matter.
yeah,
So.
right. Yeah, you just don't see that very often from them. So, all right, let's take a look at this weekend. Start here in Central PA. First 3-race weekend of the 2026 season. Friday night, first night race, Williams Grove, fast tees night with 410 and 358 sprints. Outlaps are supposed to start at 7 p.m. $25 to get in. You could also catch it on Dirt Vision. And then their next PA Posse 410 series race, third race of the series, will go to Port Royal on Saturday. York County Racing Club night with 410 sprints and super lates, just like this past Saturday. 4 p.m. start time, $25 to get in. You could also catch it on Flow Racing. And then we go to BAPS on Sunday, CH Recovery night with 410 and 358 sprints. So 2 races for the 358 sprints this week, and that's good to see. 3 p.m. hot laps on Sunday, $25 to get in, or catch it on PA Posse TV as well. So looking forward to this. It looks sunny and dry, but cold and windy. So that's going to make things interesting. We have to watch the forecast on this. It makes it especially tough for Williams Grove on Friday night. It could be 50 and sunny during the day, but as soon as that sun starts going down and it gets down to like 30 degrees, I mean, I don't know what you do. It's going to be tough.
They didn't cancel yet?
No, they did not cancel yet. But it's going to be something to keep an eye on, and just with somebody's cold temper and the wind. The wind's going to be the kicker. It looks pretty windy on Saturday as well, but let's hope that the forecast changes and improves. It does look dry and sunny though. It's just not going to be very warm.
Yeah, it's just shitty this time of the year for them to have to be at 7:00 already.
It sucks.
It just sucks. Yeah, like I think Port has a chance, but I don't know if 4:00 start is early enough.
Yeah, they could
because Saturday night's cold, very cold. You can't let it get near dark Saturday night because it's going to be miserable.
Yeah.
Sunday down here, 57 as a high, 34 as a low. So Sunday probably has the best chance with that 3:00 start.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Williams Grove, just by sheer shitty luck in the weekend and the weather, man, that looks awful. Port, man, I feel like they're good at getting things moving and keeping it going, but I don't know if 4:00's early enough. I think they need to move that up.
Move that up.
But who knows? We got all week. We'll find out here.
Yeah. See as it goes. It could change a couple times. I think by Wednesday, Thursday, we'll have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. I don't think we have to really worry about it. It doesn't look like we're going to have to worry about, knock on wood, we're going to have to worry about any moisture or any rain. But the wind and the cold are going to be something that you got to really monitor. It doesn't make for the best conditions, not just for the fans, but also for the cars and racing conditions as well. So keep an eye out on social media on all these. But fingers crossed that maybe we can, maybe it improves. It gets 60, the wind calms down, and we could get all 3 of these nights in. That would be really nice. And we go and take a look at the World of Outlaws, who are still in the Midwest as they'll race at US 36 Raceway for the KC Classic. in Osborne, Missouri on Friday. And then Saturday, 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas for the Tall Grass Tussle. The head nod from Jay-Z. It's a Tall Grass Tussle, man. What's wrong with that? Two numbered speedways here for the World of Outlaws this weekend. And then this will be interesting with High Limit. They race tomorrow night, Vado Speedway Park in New Mexico. Not only is this on Flow Racing, but it's also on FS1 tomorrow night. So if you have cable, if you have FS1, you have the Fox Sports app, you can go check this one out. They did this last year with Eldora. I think it's awesome what they're doing. They're bringing, I can't remember the exact numbers. Is it like 7 or 8 races that they're going to be doing this year for High Limit on Fox Sports 1, which is awesome. I think that's awesome. A lot of the midweek stuff, obviously, but I think that's great. It's great exposure for sprint car racing in general, not just for their series, but for sprint car racing in general. I know it did really well at Eldora last year. So let's see how this one does on Tuesday night. And then Friday night, they go to Amarillo, Texas to Route 66 Motor Speedway. And then Saturday night, they go to Dodge City, Kansas for Dodge City Raceway Park. 3 nights there for High Limit. The names must be AI. I don't know if they might be AI. Again, I appreciate me personally as a making these, I like that they have like low graphics and have a name for it. They might not always knock it out the park every time, but I think especially if they're only going to be going to these tracks one night out of the year, it makes it even a little bit, notches it up a little bit. I think it's a good thing there. But yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. A lot of racing. It's starting to really pick up. Is Baps for it? Baps won't be running Saturday because they're running Sunday. So, really, those 3 races are the 3 shows in town.
My plan is to hit all 3 if they have them. I want to get up to Port Royal. It's a Posse Series race. I have the opportunity on a Saturday to get up there. Lincoln is not running, right? They're quiet. Baps will be quiet Saturday, so I'm looking forward to getting up there if certainly the weather holds up and they have it. But listen, around those 2, 358 opener in
Yeah.
Williams Grove. It's always a big one. Sunday, that 410 358 combo at Baps is one of my favorite shows the whole year. I'm a weirdo that way. I love it. I love the combo. I love everything about it. Our buddy Kyle Keen almost won it the other year.
Mm-hmm.
So close. But no, looking forward to that on Sunday. I like going to Baps. I'm a fan of the place. So just a cool weekend all around. I already told the wife, I'm like, you're gonna hate me, but I think I'm doing all 3 already in March. Sorry. But these are 3 good ones to be at. So looking forward to it for sure. Hopefully we get them all in.
Yeah, I'll definitely be at Port on Saturday as long as it happens. I'm up in the air on Baps 50-50. I do really appreciate that. That's 3 p.m. heat racing, so hot laps are at 2 for Sunday at Baps. I think that's a great move. They don't have to worry about moving their time up there, but they're already early enough, I think, depending on any coldness. Or that's like the perfect time of the day this time of year to be racing. I know it's not always, if it's 80 or 70 degrees out like it was on Sunday, it doesn't make for the best track conditions all the time, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, I know that's for me. I don't think I'll make it to Williams Grove on Friday night. I'd love to. I don't think I'll make it though. But yeah, I'm excited. Jeff Rohrbaugh Appreciation Night at Baps on Sunday.
Yeah,
as
and see
well.
that's the only named title of a race event. No offense to Fast T's and YCRC. I'm talking about the outlaw bullshit that they came up with.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That's the Rohrball Appreciation Night is the one that matters. So get your ass out to Baps, support this event, help support Jeff in his battle.
Yeah, for sure. All right, excited for that. Let's do Drink It and Dump It. Daniel Lee's picking Corey Day to be in Victory Lane at Vado. That's a good pick. I would imagine Kyle Larson's going to be there. Brad Sweet. It should be a really good group of cars tomorrow night. Looked like over 30. from the list of names that they got there. So that's not a bad name to pick, though. That's for sure. Drink it or dump it. I'm gonna go back here quick before we start ours. Steph put hers in way early. But I want to go back and make sure we hit that one. Steph
She going to
says,
bed
drink it.
early or what?
Maybe. Says, drink it to race family time all weekend with 2 race days and beautiful weather. Drink it to the safety crews, do an amazing job with the bad wrecks at port. Dump it to the wrecks all weekend at all the tracks this weekend. Glad everyone was okay. I'm going to go my drink it. I'm going to, man. I'm just gonna go Lance Deweese. Awesome seeing him back in victory lane. Super excited to see him there. I think everybody's excited to see what him and that 8 car can do with a little bit more of an expanded schedule. It looked awesome. I think this is going to be a good season for them. Hopefully, we see a couple more. But it was awesome to see his general enthusiasm in victory lane. Just awesome to see him back in victory lane. My dump it is going to go to Dason Pursley. Especially that Friday night wreck was pretty rough. Dump it out to Dason Pursley.
Man, the drink it is hard to not do Lance with that deal. You can't drink it to every time Danny wins because that would be a lot of drinking. You know what? I'm gonna drink it to Matt Campbell. Um,
I like that one. Yeah.
I like Matt. New team, right? It's a whole new deal over the winter. 2 pretty good finishes, I want to say. Um, for what was the Williams Grove finish? Do you have that in the background? I forget because that was decent too, I think.
Matt Campbell finished on Sunday. He finished 12th.
Okay. So, not awful. Great run at Port. Had some good promising runs already this season with a new team. They're planning on running the whole series, so good start for them. Dump it. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna steal it right here. This is Magby and Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal this. I was thinking of things outside of our area, and nothing was just hitting me. But yeah, you know what? You read that, Jimmy, and that's my dump it.
Yeah, so Magby first says, drink at the Lance Deweese finds victory lane again in 3-day race weekend. Dump it. Prayers to the driver at Bridgeport that's currently in ICU and all the nasty wrecks this weekend. And Tyler Koenig follows that up with dump it to the crate modified driver, George Swikert, in your thoughts and prayers. He was airlifted out of Bridgeport in a nasty crash on Saturday night. He is currently still in New Jersey in intensive care. Sounds like it's going to be a long road to recovery. If I read it right, if I remember correctly, he has a brain bleed, broken ribs, something in his back. I think a broken like I don't know if it's like an orbital bone or right underneath his eye. Like he's pretty banged up. Um hopefully he does fully recover and everything's going to be all right there, but scary stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
Trevor Stover, drink at the Dylan Norris for a solid weekend and dump at the Ants golf game. Yeah. Shout out Dylan Norris. Sure he would have liked to have gotten the win there, especially at Williams Grove on Sunday, but 2 second place finishes this weekend. Can't be mad at that at all, especially at 2 totally different tracks on opposite sides of the state. Pretty impressive. Troy Savage asks, how did the new Beer Hill merch shop go this weekend? I'm not sure. It looked like it went pretty well, though, from everything that I saw. So shout out to those guys. They have their merch stand up there up right on Beer Hill. That's a pretty awesome deal. Santos, drink it to Lance, getting the win at Willie G. Dump it to the torn up cars. Honorable mention, as always, you guys for another great show. Thank you. Aunt Bay, drink it to Buddy. Buddy Schweibens and the 35 team for a heat race win and a top 10 at Port on Saturday. That was pretty impressive. Yeah, he started on the heat on the pole, but man, he went out and did what he needed to do, pulled away, had a really good day on Saturday. Those guys are going to be a contender here in a few weeks. Dump at the JT Sisney and Nash for junkie stuff on Saturday. Yeah, definitely dump it to those guys, especially JT and Sisney. Really, really rough wrecks for those guys. Mandy says, drink it, weekend winners, especially Thorsten McFadden and Lance. Board of Outlaws honoring Billy Hurt and Jerry Myers Jr. and High Limit doing a Missing Man tribute Thursday as well. Campbell and Schweibens having a good race at Port. Dump it to torn up race cars, Sisney, Ferry, Pursley, etc. The late model parking lot at Port Royal and Sportsman Drama. Brandon Zirk. Drink it to Tanner Thorson. Dump it to Dylan Sisney. Short and sweet. I like it. Tyler Murray. Drink it to getting opening day in on time this year and not at the end of April like last season. Dump it to the drama regarding the Posse Sprint Series point standings. Some teams thinking the day events were going to be show up points only. Not sure where the initial rumor came from. I didn't hear that until now, but that's interesting. Because that was something I said when we first heard about this Posse series, was kind of like, I wasn't a huge fan of the opening day stuff, just because like I feel like it should be, if you're going to have a series like this, have some sort of form of time trials, have some sort of consistent format. So I guess there was some confusion there. But that's interesting. That's interesting to hear. I didn't hear about that until now.
Well, there was some bitching on the internet. It's the internet.
It's internet,
And
yeah.
here's the thing: the daytime they said, hey, these daytime shows are going to be draw shows.
Mm-hmm.
Period. They are. If they're not a Posse series race in the past, and they counted toward track points, what's
It's the
different?
same deal. Yeah.
What's different?
Yeah.
I mean, what's going to be different is it won't be handicap shows for these down the road. It's going to be time trials. So, are we really upset about two shows? Come on.
Yeah.
Are we really, really upset about them? Maybe your favorite driver had shitty pill draws. Maybe that's why they're upset. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe Port on Saturday is tentatively to be group time trials. So
It is.
yeah.
I did confirm that. It's it looked the website's a little weird. But I did confirm it is group time trials this weekend at Port.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
So that'll be good. So I mean, there shouldn't be really any more draw shows for that series, at least I would imagine from here on out.
Sure.
Troy Savage says, drink at the Billies, finish top 10 at the Grove, dump at the Billy not making out of the P at Port. Yeah, boy, let's go racing. And then Daniel Lee, drink at the T2T Nation, and everyone tuning in live for Jude Siegel's interview and another fun show. Thank you, Daniel. Couldn't set up better myself, to be honest. And Daniel Lee, and dump it to all the bad crashes over the weekend. Mandy also says, Outlaws doing the Missing Man 4 wide on Friday with the safety crew leading it. I was crying watching that one. Definitely some, that was a tough one for them, for sure. Thank you to Jude Siegel for joining us. Good kid. Looking forward to seeing what he can do here in the future, not just racing wise, but I hope everything, with him, he's got a lot going on. Thanks everybody here for joining us tonight. As always, in the chat. And if you're listening the day after, Apple, Spotify, wherever, really appreciate you guys tuning in as always. If you can, give a like, subscribe on our Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, YouTube, anywhere that you have it. We're going to try to get, I'm going to try to get TikTok up and running, maybe. Not that I'm good at TikTok, but try to get some clips of the shows up on there as well. It's like some of this that you saw at the beginning of the show. We're going to try to do some of that stuff a little bit more and stuff like that. So again, go follow us wherever. Give us a like and subscribe. It really helps the pod out. So
Appreciate you all being here that we see weekly for sure. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, saying hi at the racetrack. Those of you tune in now and then when you stop us at the racetrack and, compliment us or tell us we're idiots. Either way it works. We're happy with it. As long as you tune in now and then. We appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, send it out to some friends. Tell us how much of idiots we are, and come tell us about it. We're here for it.
Please don't be shy about calling us idiots. We have had a couple people come up, shake our hands and be like, "Hey, big fan of the show and everything," but don't be afraid to call us idiots. You can call us that. That's okay. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys